Hey there, Zelda fans! Amanda Van Heil here with Zelda Universe for another episode of Zelda Weekly. There is a Nintendo Live event going on in Japan, and they have a life-size statue of Link for Tears of the Kingdom, and oh my gosh, it is beautiful. What's really cool about it, aside from the fact that it is a life-size Link statue, is it gives a really up-close and detailed look at the arm that's all outstretched and blue, and I don't know if it's afflicted with malice or if it's like Twilight or Shikatek or Zonai or whatever it is. You get to see it up close and it looks really neat. Also, look at his nails on the blue hand. They're all like long, and while they're nicely manicured, it doesn't look the same on his good hand. They're short, so I don't know if that means anything or not, just something to point out. Also, dear Nintendo, please bring this to PAX East. I need a picture with the Link statue. Inspired by the Mario movie, and the trailer looks awesome by the way, Jack Black is absolute perfection as Bowser. Kid and Krysta, the former host of Nintendo Minute, released a video of their ideal Zelda cast, and they also did a brief script reading of the Legend of Zelda movie, if there were to be one. They both came up with their own story ideas and their own individual casts. Now, I don't want to spoil anything regarding casting choices, however, Navi and Girahim were absolutely perfect. Although I will say one problem with it is I was nowhere on either of those cast lists. If there's a Zelda movie, I better be in it. Rozen's album Shadows of Hyrule is officially out, and you should absolutely check it out. I have been listening to it while putting together content for this video. I love his interpretation of Gerudo Valley. Like the rest of his album, it has a very dark tone to it. And while I of course love the usual wanna shake your butt and dance flamenco style to the original, with Rozen's version, you really envision what the Gerudo have to go through as a tribe. First off, there's Ganondorf being the one male Gerudo, which is hard enough to deal with, plus the oppressive desert heat and winds, and at night the desert cold, plus the need to just be agile fighters and swordswomen. The Breath of the Wild Gerudo era, they have it pretty good, but before that, they weren't really sitting around sipping on noble pursuits. So definitely check out Shadows of Hyrule. It is on Spotify, Apple Music, and Rozen's site, music.rozen.audio. Now, last week, I asked you guys what the creepiest moment in Zelda was, and here's what you guys had to say. There were so many good responses here. All right, Emma Miller says, the Silent Realms in Skyward Sword scare me so much, I have to turn the volume down so I'm not uncontrollably shaking. Oh my gosh, yes, the Silent Realms. There have been times where anything timed, makes me panic. When I was a little kid and the timer would start going off in Mario when it would speed up, I would start crying. So I still panic anytime it's like that. Sometimes I have to pass the controller off to my husband. I know it's cheap move, but I have to do it. I can't handle it. Ariel Pennert says, the atmosphere of the Deku Tree and the Skulltulas that inhabit it have always been the scariest part of any Zelda game I've ever played. Yeah, it is a super creepy aesthetic. Ryan Betts says, the creepiest moment in Zelda is in Ocarina of Time, when you wake up in the Temple of Time only to realize that Rauru has been in there watching you for 7 years straight. I can't say I've ever thought of that, but now that I do, yeah, that's a little creepy. Natalie C. says, one of the scariest Zelda moments to me is the part in Twilight Princess when Yetta becomes possessed by the mirror fragment. The combination of both her twisted expression and her literally twisting her neck towards the camera like an owl never ceases to frighten me. Oh my gosh, that part, that was intense. And then finally, Chris Shorten says, dead hand. It's always dead hand. You are not wrong. Dead hand is quite terrifying. Okay, so here's my creepy Zelda moment. All right, so I was playing Ocarina of Time. I was 14 or 15 at the time. And I got into the part where, you've gotten all the spiritual stones, you pull the Master Sword, you see what all Ganon is done to Hyrule and how everything's just a big mess. Only problem is my television was kind of going out because this was early 2000s, this TV I had forever, and it was kind of on its last leg. So all of a sudden, everything had kind of a red tint to it. So imagine what Ganon had already done. Add a red texture tint to it. And you barely see the re-dead sneaking up on you, and you don't see them until they like reach around and grab you, and then you hear the scream. I could not play that until I got a new television because it scared me so much. So it was like a couple of years before I could finally play it. All right, so question for next week. If there is a Zelda movie, who would you want to have in the cast? It can be live action, animation, however you want to do it. I just want to know who you'd like to be in it. Bonus points if it's me. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so very much for watching. My name is Amanda Van Heil. Make sure to follow us on our Twitch channel, Zelda Universe TV. Also, Linktober is going on. So if you have Zelda artwork, you want to check out the Linktober website to see the calendar and also tag us in any of it. And if it's Z-Link related, you want to tag me in it. Well, I'll see you guys very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week.